Hey, it's me again. Under there, it's Christian Patriot 95 on YouTube. I normally don't do this, but I just had a dream. I get dreams a lot, but this one it had. I woke up and instantly I knew the meaning or the meaning of it, and I just wanted to. Normally, are personal dreams, but I just wanted to share it, just in case it would speak to somebody. It was weird. It was so vivid. I mean, I could see everything in color. It was like I was really there. The dream, basically was I was hanging out with people, from my family and people that I known. A lot of them in real life had passed away already. Some of the people there I knew, some I didn't. But we were in a Bodie's parking lot across the street from a fire hall from a town I used to hang out in and called Georgetown when I was a kid in real life. Or used to go to a lot, and that's where it was. But we were sitting there hanging out and talking, and it was weird. It was like I was talking to these people. All of a sudden, it changed, and I was in a store. It was like a flea market type of store slash store, and it was like video game and stuff and all. I'm into video game and computers and stuff. And I'm looking at it, and people are coming in and buying stuff. And somebody said they wanted a game, and it was so expensive. And I'm like, yeah, it's considered a collector's item. But I didn't buy anything. I just looked at it, and I was like, yeah, I don't need it. And at that point, poof, I was back into the Bodie's parking lot with all these people. Now, across the street, like I said earlier, was a fire hall. And this is where it gets really, really crazy and really, really vivid. Um, we're sitting there in the parking lot. There's a group of us. We're just standing around, sitting around talking. And all of a sudden, like 1980s style cars, police cars started flying up with those old fashioned bubble lights and sirens are blaring. And they all just came in and they just swarmed up to the firehouse. And the firehouse doors were open at this point. And a multitude of like cops and all started coming out of these cars, kind of like P-Wood clown cars. I mean, it's more than can fit in the cars, you know. They come out and they all go running into the fire hall and start checking the lockers because you see lockers in the fire trucks and stuff and everything. And all of a sudden, this one locker opened, and this guy jumps out, and the cops go to tackle him. The guy breaks loose, runs about 5 feet away from the cops. He was dressed in all white shorts, white tank top. What do you call those things? Wife beaters or whatever, that type of. And he had a white vest on. And he looked up at all of us standing there, and he just put his arms out like this. And at that point, I knew, in that vest he had on, there was like bulges in them. It's like I knew instantly it was like bombs. So I dove down to the ground and covered my head like this, you know. Mainly because, well, one, if there's an explosion, you don't want to get, you know. But two, I just didn't want to get covered in anything. I guess, I don't know. I dove down heads like this, above my head and ducked for cover. And then it switched to like third person at that point, and I could see the guy. He just basically, not to be too graphic, and yeah, everywhere, blood everywhere, so to speak. And but nobody was hurt. Nobody was hurt. When I got up, I looked down. I was wearing all white. There were droplets of blood all over me. Half of the people that I was there talking to, same thing. They were wearing all white, droplets of blood all over them. And at that point, like, I don't know how to describe it. It like appeared before us, like it phased in. I don't know how to say it, but there was a giant, like this big trolley that appeared before us with the open sides and bench seats. You know, you can get in and sit down, kind of like you see it like the beaches in Austin times to take you back and forth, or at amusement parks to take you from the parking lot to the amusement park, that type of thing. But it was like long. I only saw the rear end of it, and I took out this like travel coffee mug. I drink a lot of coffee, and I blew into it like you would like a Coke bottle where it starts playing music. I mean, makes that sound like that woo sound. And I started playing a tune on it like you would a harmonica. I was blowing on it, and I started playing an old hymn that I haven't heard in years. And it was "Are You Washed in the Blood?" You know, and the song goes, "Are you washed in the soul cleansing blood of the Lamb? Are your garments spotless, or are they white as snow? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb?" You know, I started playing that tune and tapped my foot to it. Now, back in the church I grew up in, it was like, "Are you washed?" You know, but in my dream, I was playing an upbeat, like, you know. At that point, people were coming from all different streets of the town and getting onto this trolley, and they were all wearing white, and they all had blood splatters on them, like I did. And this one guy was coming up and getting on the trolley, where he just looked at me and nodded his head. And at that point, I stopped playing the coffee cup. I don't know, like a harmonica. I was playing like a harmonica, but I stopped playing it, and I got onto the trolley and the rear end of it. You know, I sat down next to a couple people, and we were just talking as the trolley started taking off. And the guy next to me, he pulls out of his shirt pocket like a golden ticket, and he's just looking at it, dumbfounded. And I started talking to him, and he goes, "All this time I was vesting in this ticket to get me on this ride." And he goes, "It was a waste." And that's about the time I woke up, because we started talking about how we're not we started talking about nobody's promised tomorrow, and things happen so fast, and that's when I woke up. Um, I knew the meaning. I mean, as soon as I woke up, I knew instantly what that dream was all about or what it meant. Um, Basically, the whole part where I went to the store and said I don't need none of this, and then went back to the um, parking lot was just going through life. I was deciding I don't need stuff of this world, basically. Um, Now, when the cops came and went to the firehouse, and that guy in all white comes out and basically blew himself up, that was very, very symbolic. The police and everything represent the law. Um, God has made things a certain way, He said, without the shedding of blood, there's no remission of sin, stuff like that. And in the Old Testament, they used to sacrifice lambs. Jesus is the ultimate sacrifice, and that's what that guy that blew himself up was. In essence, that was the price of sin coming for him. And before Jesus went on the cross, he said that they will destroy this temple, and I will raise it up again after 3 days. And he was talking about his physical body. But that's when he paid the price of sin, is on the cross. Well, in the dream, when this guy blew himself up, it was symbolic of Jesus dying on the cross. And that blood splatter went everywhere. And that's why he was in all white, because he was sinless. And he died for our sins. So when he died, the price of sin, he paid that price. That's why the cops came to get him. And after he did what he did in the dream, and everybody had blood splatter on them, but all of a sudden everybody had all white like he did, it's because God looks at us now as without sin. He paid the price for us. When he looks at us, he sees the blood splatter. He sees, he sees the sacrifice already made, the price, the debt was already paid. That's why afterwards we were all wearing white and had blood splatter on it. And then when I took out everybody was talking, that trolley came. Basically, that was the ride to heaven. And the only way you could have gotten on it is if you were covered in the blood. I don't know what the part with me blowing on the coffee cup was, not like music, but I know that when we were getting onto the trolley at the very end, and that guy started talking about that golden ticket that he pulled out. It was symbolic of, we go chasing our life, trying to work our way into heaven. Some of us try, good deeds. Some of us just try to chase after material things. But many people try to get to heaven the wrong way. It's not good deeds. It's not. You can't work your way into heaven. You can't buy your way into heaven. It's only through the blood of Jesus Christ, basically. And that's what that discussion with that guy in that ticket was. I guess he was trying to work his way into heaven and then realized this won't do it, And the fact is, we got talking into nobody's promised tomorrow, and we're not. I know in my life I've come close to death a couple times. One time I miraculously survived a car accident without getting hurt years ago. In real life, I was T-boned by a car running a red light coming home from work. And when the car T-boned me, the car I was driving in, it was an old Pontiac Sunbird, spun out of control, and I ended up like inches from a pole across on the other side of the street, facing the way I was coming from. It's a dual highway. And when the cop got there, he was like dumbfounded. Because the tires on the one side of the car had blown, too. And he was like, "It's a miracle the car didn't flip and roll over or anything." And it's a miracle I didn't hit the telephone pole. And also, not only that, when the car hit me, it's weird. It was like, I don't know if anybody knows the old Sunbirds, but you have your seat and you have a center console that goes up into the dash, down in between the seats, and that's where your gear shifter is and all. It's automatic. Well, it's like the whole thing busted, and the seat and that center console like shifted over a little bit, and where she hit the door, the other lady hit the door. The door actually came in where she hit it. Now, if everything didn't shift, that door would have been right into my arm, like right into my side. Um, but that was a crazy experience, and it happened so fast. um, and when I got out and didn't get hurt, I was just praising God, like, oh my gosh, you know. And then, of course, an experience I went through with somebody before that actually literally choked me till I passed out. You know, so I've come close to death a couple times, and we're not promised tomorrow. It's just something to think about. But in essence, I just wanted to share that dream. I didn't know if it would speak to somebody like it did to me, or if somebody needed to hear it, or what, down the road. So, yeah, basically that's it. From Jesus is the only way, and that's what that dream was showing. He made that sacrifice for us in a weird symbolic way. That's what the dream was saying to me. It's just something to think about. Have a good one.